Are you looking to boost your internet capabilities throughout your house? The Zyxel pass-through Ethernet adapter is a great addition for any home console or PC looking to get any extra internet speeds. Affiliate link below. Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is 3 Buck Theater, and while this story is not necessarily about a movie or movie series or movie news, it could be preemptive movie news, which is why I wanted to talk about it in the first place. I want to draw some attention to this. I also want to warn people about this as well, only because of people who are involved. I'm torn on an ideological level as being a fan of this, as well as being not a fan of some people involved. Anyway, back in 1980s, John Carpenter was at the top of his game. I think that's pretty much non-disputable at this point. You have They Live, you have The Thing, you've got one of my all-time favorite movies, Big Trouble in Little China. Kurt Russell, I think his finest film outside of Escape from LA in the 80s. And it's one of those ones you can go back and you can watch infinite times, and it is almost perfection. Right? Everything about that movie is grand. But one of the things we never got was a sequel. There's been talks of The Rock picking up a Big Trouble in Little China reboot, which is one of the things I fear most on this planet. I love The Rock. I want to see him in a lot more things. Not that. Not that. Not that. No. However, it's entirely possible that we're going to be going down a path that can lead us to not a sequel, or not a reboot, but a sequel. And an interesting sequel nonetheless, and one that might come about now, given that we're going to probably be seeing a resurgence of Kurt Russell. Now, John Carpenter is getting ready to release Big Trouble in Little China, Old Man Jack. Old Man Jack is a comic book series sequel that is set 30 years after the events of Big Trouble in Little China, where essentially, this is what the synopsis says. This is a story of Old Man Jack's final ride on the Porkchop Express. The year is 2020, and hell is literally on Earth. Ching Dai, sick of relying on screw-ups like Lo Pan to do his bidding, has broken the barriers between Earth and the infinite hells and declared himself ruler for all. 60-year-old Jack Burton is alone in a tiny corner of Florida with only his broken radio to talk to, until one day it manages to pick up a message. Someone is out there in the hellscape, and they know how to stop the Ching Dai. And so basically, this introduces older Jack Burton trying to go and, you know what, say fuck it and save the world one more time. This is a limited edition comic book run. I don't know how many issues it's going to be, but it's coming out here pretty soon. John Carpenter is very much heavily involved with the story, which is the positive. And now that leads me to the negative, which is Anthony Birch is co-writing the comic. Now, Anthony Birch, you may not know him on a personal level, but you might know his work as being the writer of Borderlands 2, which, for all intents and purposes, was just Reddit the video game. This time around, he's helping John Carpenter craft Old Man Jack, and I'm a little bit concerned because Anthony Birch is one of those guys. I don't know the nice way to say this. I don't know if there's a nice way to say this, but he's one of those guys who's like, his entire personal saga played out, like personal drama, divorce of his wife, played out online. And he's just, I don't want to use the word cuck unironically, but I think that's a lot of what it boils down to. He's very much a social justice warrior. He's very much a feminist. He's very much in that camp. And that makes him extremely insufferable online. I think I've been blocked by him for years. But the point I'm trying to get to here is he's co-writing this. Now, I like the story. I dig the setup. I love the character of Jack Burton. I love the Porkchop Express. You know, I remember absolutely falling head over heels in love with Kim Cattrall from watching Big Trouble in Little China. This is before I saw Mannequin, so I was 5 at the time, right? But I remember seeing her as Gracie Hart going, oh, so fine. As a 5-year-old, clearly not understanding everything, but I love Kim Cattrall. Anyway, I want to see what's going on with this one. I want to see what they might come up with, because Big Trouble in Little China is definitely one of those movies that deserved more of a world building situation. It deserved a sequel. It deserved multiple sequels. It deserved more Kurt Russell. And given how things have been right now in terms of comic books, kind of like one-off comic books being adapted into feature films. This could, if it's popular enough, kind of make its way down that path. We've seen Old Man Logan become the adaptation for Logan, even though it was just very much in theme only. In a few other areas, it was still, that's what it was pulling from. We've seen stuff like Kingsman Secret Service become its own comic book, Kick-Ass become its own movie, Kingsman become its own movie. And actually all three of those are written by Mark Millar. So if Mark Millar was attached to this, I'd be, yeah, it's going to happen. It's going to become a movie. But it's entirely possible that John Carpenter wants to push this thing through before he dies. Carpenter is getting up there in years. He just toured last summer with his music. He happened to come through Portland like the day before I got back from my cruise, so I missed it. And he is still very active, and I think he wants this to happen. Kurt Russell is seeing kind of a later career resurgence after being in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, as well as Mr. Nobody in the Fast and Furious movies, and I'm pretty sure he's going to pop. I mean, also being in, Tarantino's works and a few other things like Bone Tomahawk, he's coming around again. So giving him the ability to go back into the role of being Jack Burton is awesome. And if you want to find a way to tie The Rock to Jack Burton and make that happen, then have The Rock be his sidekick in Old Man Jack. Okay, allow him to go up with him in that particular regard, and that could be a good movie. That could be a good buddy cop film, or a kind of a buddy comedy or whatever. Traveling the hellscapes of Florida, trying to find a way to take out an ancient fucking evil while rocking on the Porkchop Express. All right, think about that and think how awesome that would be. So I have high hopes for this. I'm willing to look past my disgust of Anthony Birch in order to pick this thing up and give it a go, because I want it to be a success. I want more Big Trouble in Little China. Because if they're going to remake shit out of the 80s anyway, you might as well give us what we want. A sequel. A balls to the wall, crazy as shit, over the top sequel to match the awesomeness and epicness from the first movie. But what do you guys think about this? Let me know in the comments below. My name is, of course, Matt Jarbo. This has been $3 Theater. I'll talk to you guys later. Have yourself a great day. Peace out.